Hi everybody, it's Diana with Stamping with Di. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so glad that you're joining me today. This is my Mimeograph Monday with a twist. And basically it just means I'm going to case a project out of one of the current catalogs, and then I'm going to do a twist on it. So you'll get two cards that I'm sharing today. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Diana and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm in Santan Valley, Arizona. So welcome to my channel, and if you have been here before, welcome back. And I would appreciate and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and click the little dinger bell thing, because then it will let you know when I upload a video or go live, anything like that. And please like and share my channel as well. YouTube likes that and then it makes them want to share my channel more often. And what else do I have to go over? So the month is almost over, which also means celebration is almost over. So I am going to be showing, I'm going to be doing one of the celebration sets that I haven't used yet, and it is so beautiful. So hopefully you'll be able to grab that. I know the hippo dies, we have run out of a few things, and the hippo dies was one of them, and I did kind of predict that that was going to happen, so we almost made it to the end of August. And so if you were able to get those, good. If not, don't fret, because my class in the mail kit for October is actually going to be the hippo bundle. So if you did miss out, hopefully you'll be able to take that class in October. All right, so I am going to flip the camera and we will get started. And like I said, I'm going to be using a celebration set, and it is beautiful, so I hope you will like it. All right, so let me turn the camera and we'll get started. Okay, so the card that I'm going to be doing today is this one right here. And it's the Stylish Sketches. And with a $50 order before tax and shipping, you can get the Stylish Sketches for free. And I have looked at this card for so long, and I'm like, I need to get it done before celebration is over. And so I have my little supply list all ready to go. All right, so let me set that aside. So these are what I'm using for the card. All right, so we have our fresh freesia cardstock, and let me go over the things that I'm actually using. So I'm using the deckled rectangles, and I love this die. It's all these really fun jaggedy edge, you know, deckled edges of rectangles, and they nest so beautifully, and they go so well. So I'm going to use those. I'm also using the Hello Harvest, so I will be using the Hello greeting from that. And then here is that beautiful stamp set that I'm going to be using today. So it is just, it's fun. It's just, I love the artwork on it, because it really does look like, you know, they're just sketches on there. All right, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm also using the Rustic Harvest, and this is just that little cardstock piece of paper, or not cardstock, whatever, that white hard paper that's underneath in the 12 by 12 paper, and I just cut it down to 4 by 4, and then I just kind of keep them on my desk, and then when I need to know, like, well, what colors are in whatever, and then I just pull them out. So they're just handy to have. All right, so let's see. So this is what we're going to be doing. Now, I did stamp the little fox ahead of time so that I could cut him out. And here's that cute little deckled edge. And I am going to be doing some watercolor today, so that means I'm using the StazOn. And I know usually I use the Memento with the blends, but today we're using watercolor pencils for the first card and the water painter. So you have to use the StazOn. And the shimmery paper is the best if you don't use a watercolor paper. But I'm using the shimmery because that's what they used in the catalog, and it is kind of my favorite go-to when I do watercoloring, because it stamps really nice and solid, because there's not a bunch of bumps on it like the watercolor paper, and it still allows you to play around with your color. All right, so let's see here. I also want to stamp the fox on the inside, so let's do that real quick. I'm not going to color the one on the inside. It's just going to be a little fox peeking his head, just so it has a little bit of the same thing going on the inside of the card as the outside. And I don't know what, you know, Stampin' Up has on the inside of the card. I always say it probably is just a card front for the catalog, I would think. Who knows? All right, so we have our little piece. This is shimmery as well. So let me get my fox. Now, my maiden name is Fox. So this is a stamp set that I am going to be keeping forever. Because, you know, there's a lot of stamp sets when they retire. I sell them or give them away because, you know, I can't use them, or I can't, you know, sell them after, and you know what I'm talking about, right? Someone gets excited about a stamp set and you can send them to your store to order it, but when a thing retires, they can't get it. So usually I don't keep everything, or I would need a whole other house, because I have been a demonstrator for so long. If I kept all of the sets from all my 23 years, I would be swimming in them. So I just keep the ones I truly, truly love and know I will use again for personal reasons. And this definitely is one. So look how cute that fox is, just peeking his head. Then this is going to go on the front. And this is that Rustic Harvest. Is that what it's called? Where's my little... Oh, well, I had that little 4x4. I probably put it in my stack. Yes, right here. So this is the Rustic Harvest DSP. So it shows all of the little colors that go with it, and it has the item code, so it's just kind of handy to have on my desk. It does tell in the catalog what colors go with it, so don't feel like you have to do that. But whenever I open up a new DSP pack for the first time, I just quickly cut one of those out. Okay, so we've got this cute little piece on there. We also are going to do a little bit of heat embossing with the hello, and here it is. Excuse my reach, excuse my arm. Now this is what is new as well, as we have these fun little tray. It has a brush, has a little picker upper. There's just a bunch of little things with it, and it just keeps your embossing powder all nice and neat and tidy. Okay, so we're just going to stamp up hello, and let me get my embossing powder open. All right, so hello with the Versamark, and then I'm just going to cut this out with my scissors. So I'm just going to pour this. Now they don't come in these, obviously. This is just something I picked up, TJ Maxx or something, just a little container, so I can keep the lid on it, because I have a couple packs in there. All right, and then I'm going to heat set it. So let me get my heat gun. Now this is going to be noisy, so I apologize, but let's get that heat set. And you'll see it start to turn. So see, once it starts to turn, move along to the next section, and you're done. You do not want to overcook it. If you overcook it, it just kind of soaks into the paper, and you don't get that real nice little shine, and it's really hard for the camera to pick up that shine, but it does. Okay, so let's cut this out, and then we're going to color our fox. So I'm just using my snips, And I'm just trimming this out. So if there's ever any project that you see in a catalog and you go, I wonder how that was done, just let me know and then I'll do my best. Sometimes I can't even figure it out. Sometimes I will just wing it and go, well, it kind of looks like they did this. Okay, so we're going to use the Cajun Craze watercolor pencil and the water painter. This is just our silicone. It's bigger, right? It comes big like this. I just cut it into 4, and then I just use a makeup round, cotton round, and that just helps me keep my water painter, you know, clean. All right, and then the silicone just keeps the water from getting all over my desk. All right, so let's get my pencil here. So I am just going to add a little bit of the Cajun on the card, and then we're just going to blend it around. Now you could use the blender pens as well, but Stampin' Up! Used the water painter, so that's what I'm using. So I'm just putting a little bit here and there on my fox. Then I'm just taking my water painter and I'm just going to move the color around. So I'm just moving that color around, and it just wets it and allows you to kind of blend, so you have a little bit of that color here and there. And I'm not going to color it in fully because a fox, I was looking on the internet, and a fox has a white, this is white right here, and their faces are white, their tail is white on the end. So let's see, so that looks good. But I want to have a little bit darker in certain areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil, I'm just going to leave it laying down here, and I'm going to simply pick up some of that pencil with my water painter, and then I'm able to put it darker in certain areas, so I have a little bit more control over where those colors are going, because I want it a little darker around the head and a little bit on the ears. So I mean, that's just, to me, it's a little bit easier because you can just, you get more of a concentrated color that way. All right, so that looks good. Then I just give it a squeeze and clean it. All right, so now we can start to put our card together. So let me bring my pieces over. So this was a fun one to come up with a twist card. All right, now this is a piece of Cajun, is this Cajun Craze? Where is my recipe? Oh my gosh, where is the recipe? Oh, here it is. All right, is it Cajun Craze? Hang on. No, it's Calypso Coral. This is Calypso Coral, but the pencil was Cajun Craze. All right, because this is going to go under here. So we're going to put a little bit of seal. And this is just one of those deckled rectangles, but it's the next size up. So see how pretty that layers? Now I've just cut it small, right? So we're just having a little piece there. We also have our hello. Now this card also uses the new soft seafoam, seam binding ribbon. It's beautiful. And we're going to put this behind here. Now the catalog recipe says they use tear tape, but I'm just going to use the seal because I'm going to put the seal over here and you're not going to see it because the fox is going to be glued there. So I changed it up a little bit. All right, so we have this, and then I'm just going to wrap it. So I put my finger there, I come over here, and now it's stuck into that seal again, and then I wrap it, then it's going to be stuck in that seal again, and then we can trim our tail. So now you have this pretty seafoam ribbon back there. Then let's take, but you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do that on my first one too. All right, I forgot to splatter. So Stampin' Up, so I'm just taking some recipe cards and I just stick them up underneath there. So if you make this mistake, just keep some recipe cards on hand. All right, and now they splattered. Now they also mentioned that they used the Fresh Freesia ink pad. So I'm sure they splattered with their water painter, but I'm going to do it a little easier, and I'm going to splatter with my dark Fresh Freesia Stampin' Blend. And that's just going to put a little bit of splatters on this DSP right here. So what you do is I use the brush side, and we're going to just flick it in the lid, and what that will do is spread out a little bit of splatters. So can you see those splatters happening? All right, now it's a little rough. If you do a lot, it's a little rough on that brush tip over time, but if you have watched me color, you know I pretty much always use the other side, so I don't worry too much about the brush tip getting kind of mangled, because I don't use the brush sewing very often except for splattering. All right, so see how you have these cute little splatteries. So now your DSP isn't so plain. Okay. So now we're going to put our little fox on here. So I'm going to use dimensionals. So let me grab some out of my drawer. All right. So we're going to put dimensionals on our fox. And I usually put one in the center just so we don't have a saggy center. So I'll put this on the card. So yeah, so I love when you all comment about which you like best. If you like the catalog version, which is the Mimeograph Monday, or if you like the twist. And it is fun to see, you know, what you choose. All right, so we're going to put our hello on there as well. So dimensional. And then this will get up here like that. And then this is a little high, so I'm just going to use my pick tool, and I'm going to grab a glue dot, and I'm simply going to lift that up and stick that glue dot under there, and then it won't go anywhere. All right. Now, also in this card, we also used the In Color Opal rounds. So these are the these are the Fresh Freesia. So we're gonna go Fresh Freesia, a big one, a baby one, and a big one, and a baby one, and a big one. So there you have your hello in the inside. I also stamped earlier the fox in the envelope. So now you know, like, this goes together. All right, so now let me show you the twist version, and then you can let me know which one you like the best. All right, let me get that in there. All right, so here are the pieces. Oh my gosh, dimensional backings for days. All right, so these are the pieces. Now, like I said, my maiden name is Fox. So I'm hoping that maybe my mom is watching today. And I'm gonna now turn this into a Christmas card. So I'm gonna be using the Mistletoe Magic for my greetings. And I am using the Bows of Holly 12 by 12 DSP. And all right, I'm still going to do some heat embossing. That didn't change. But look at these beautiful colors. to make this into a Christmas card. All right, so again, I stamped the little fox ahead of time and die cut him out. So let's put our inside. So I just staggered these 2 pieces of DSP. Now this DSP is amazing, and I think it could be back ordered. Things come in every time you turn around, so maybe when you're watching this video, depending on when you watch it, it might be in. So just always, if you put an item code in and it comes up as not available, it could just be back ordered. So if you aren't sure, just give me a holler and just say, you know, is this paper back ordered, or is it really, you know, gone? Because when Sale-A-Bration is over, and if you try to put in a Sale-A-Bration item, it will come up as gone, and then it is truly gone. But if it's a current catalog item, it could just be not in the warehouse at the moment, and then you can't order it, you know, when there's none in at the warehouse. Okay, so there's the inside of our card. So I want to do the same thing. I want to put a little fox head sticking in the corner. Now the stays on pad, if you are new to Stampin' Up, you want to make sure you keep that lid on it, because it's like a Sharpie marker. It's the same kind of ink as a Sharpie marker. It's a permanent pad. It's a solvent ink, and it will dry. If you leave it open, it air dries, just like a Sharpie marker. If you leave the lid off a Sharpie marker, it dry. So when you get your new stays on pad, it actually has this clear, can you see that clear? It's like a clear thing that covers the pad. You don't want to throw it away because it's an extra security that it's not going to dry out. And I just used some of the black dimensionals and I glued it to the inside of the pad, so I didn't have to keep, every time I take the lid off, I didn't have to keep taking that clear little protector out there. So now it's inside the lid. So always keep it closed. All right. So I just want to make sure you know that. All right. So now I'm going to put, since it is a Christmas card, and we're going to assume we're making 100 Christmas cards. So I'm going to use Real Red, because Real Red is one of the colors that is in the DSP. So I'm going to put a greeting on the inside. So I'm going to see how good I mounted it. And I've showed this trick before. So I'm just using my grid sheet, and I'm just looking through my sticker, and I'm trying to line it up on the line, and I see that I did pretty good in regards to mounting that. So I don't have to do any kind of adjustments. So it's pretty much where the sticker is. So we have our little "May your heart be filled with joy this season." So that's the inside. I do want to do some white embossing, just like the other one. This time, instead of trimming it out with my scissors, I used the smallest of the decal rectangle. And look how cute it is. It's got all those little decal edges. And I'm going to use Christmas blessings to you and yours. So let me get my embossing powder, and there's still some in the little tray, so I can use it. So let's see here. So hopefully this is pretty straight. Good. And then cover that up. Let's just put that on there, and then we'll heat set it. Just like before. Oops, hang on a minute. There we go. It's small, and I hit it. I hit the word. All right, here we go. Get my hand off there. Okay, so let's see. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get this out of here. We don't want to blow it all over the place. Okay, so now we're going to heat set this. Again, it's going to be noisy. So once it starts to turn, move it on to the next section. And this is kind of small, so I need to go like that. Now hold the other side. We do have the tweezers, and like I said the other day, I put them somewhere, and I'm not sure where I put them. All right, so while that dries, I'm going to unplug my heat gun. You always want to unplug your heat gun when you're done with it. Always, always, always. Okay, so that's done. That's done. Let's color our fox, and then we can put our card together. All right, so this time I'm going to do a little bit of watercoloring. So let me move all this stuff out of the way. This was in case I boo-booed. I did me an extra one. All right, so let's see here. So I have a bunch of ink pads out. So we're going to add a little bit of color to our fox that we didn't do before. So we're going to give him a little more life, because that that Boughs of Holly DSP is so beautiful that I just want to make the fox, you know, be beautiful as well. So I'm going to have some Pool Party, and I have just squirted a little bit in the lids, because then it's just easier than squeezing the pad, you know, to get it in there. It's just easier. So I'm going to give my water painter a squeeze, and I'm just picking up some Pool Party, and I'm just very lightly kind of emphasizing some of these little marks that the artist made. So you have that little bit of Pool Party around. I'm squeezing and cleaning. Alright, then I want Old Olive. So again, I just put it in the lid. So we want some Old Olive, and we're going to put that underneath the fox, because there's Old Olive in that DSP. I also used Old Olive for my cardstock. Now you want to give it just a little bit time to dry. It does not take very long. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to grab a little bit more Old Olive, and I just want to have a little bit of darker in certain areas. And you have to make sure it's all the way dry before you do that. Alright, squeeze and wipe. So I'm just adding my colors as I go. Now remember I said the fox, the face is white, the end of the tail is white. So, but I don't want to ignore it. Let me get this out of the way. I don't want to ignore those areas, because it just looks like I forgot to color it. So I'm using my, what is this? This is gray granite. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of gray granite, just a tiny, tiny little bit. And I'm just going to lightly put some of it on the breast of the fox, as well as the tail of the fox, and a little bit on the nose. There's just a little tiny bit of color. Also, his feet are a little darker than the red, so I'm going to pick up a little bit more so that his feet are a little darker, and color the feet in. So that just gives our fox, you know, a little bit of different color. Right. Now I'm using Calypso Coral, and that was the cardstock I used before, right? I love Calypso Coral. The ink is a little bit darker than the cardstock, and I'm just going to come in and put a little bit of Calypso around the fox. And this makes me go, why don't I watercolor more often? Because I truly love to do it. It is so, it's just you know, watercoloring is easy, especially when it's a stamp set like this, because it's just so free. All right, so that was Calypso Coral. Then I'm going to take Real Red. Now, Real Red is that cardstock that I used, as well as it's in a DSP. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pick up a little bit of the Real Red, and we're just going to put a couple dark kind of areas with the Real Red so that it emphasizes that red fox. I'm not going to put tons because I want to still leave it with that watercolory look. So that looks good to me. All right. So let me put those aside, and then we can put our card together. All right, we'll let him dry. Let's bring our card over. So I'm using Old Olive as my card base. I'm not putting any ribbons on this time because we're assuming that this is going to be a Christmas card. So you don't want to have too much going on because you don't want it to be too thick, or you're going to have to add more postage to it. Plus, if you're making 100 of them, you don't want to be making them all the way to New Year's Eve. So I'm just going to keep it kind of simple. Plus, this DSP is so beautiful on its own that I don't think it needs a ribbon necessarily, especially with this stamp set. All right, so we have our DSP there. Let's put the inside so I don't forget. So we have our inside. I swear Stampin' Up has, the last few years, the DSPs, and if you are new, DSP means Designer Series Paper. I apologize if I'm using short forms of stuff, if you're not sure what I'm talking about. All right, so now instead of using just a plain piece of cardstock like I did on the other one, this is some of that Boughs of Holly Designer Series paper, and this is going to go on underneath the fox this time. Now, because this is bigger, this is a bigger greeting square, rectangle, whatever, than the other card, I'm going to put this on the top instead. And I also made it a little bit wider. All right, so that's going to go on here, and this just puts a little something between the fox and this DSP. So that's going to go in here, and I'm going to use dimensionals again, just like before. I'm also not going to put any embellishments, because if you look at this paper, it has that splatter look to it, right? It has so much stuff going on that I don't want to put any embellishments either. Now, you totally could, but I'm just wanting to keep the card simple. If you decide, you know what, I might do this one for my Christmas card. And like I said, maybe my mom is watching and she'll go, oh, this has to be our Christmas card. All right, so there is that. Then we're going to put our Christmas blessings to you and yours down here. So I'm going to put my dimensionals here so that it will catch this. That way I don't have them going onto here where it's going to be crooked. All right, so we have, oops, don't drop it on there. All right, so we have our Christmas blessings to you and yours. This is a little floppy like before, not a biggie. Get your glue dot with your pick tool, pick it up, and simply put a glue dot back there, and then it's in place. Oh, so see how beautiful? Isn't that fox set just amazing? All right, so let me show you, and then you can let me know which one you like the best. I like them both because I just love that fox set. But anyway, so this is my catalog version, and you can, I have to like straighten this a little bit. Sometimes I don't see things are crooked till I look at it on the screen. All right, so this is my catalog version, and then this is my twist. So Mimeograph Monday with a twist, and I love them both. All right, so let me turn the phones. I see you later, alligator. All right, so very, very good. So don't forget that August is almost over. That means the end of Sale-A-Bration. It also means the end of my August host code, the end of my goodies and guts for August. And you can see behind me those three, the 2 cards in the little bag. Those are the guts that you could earn for August. The snowflake stars are the goodies, and if you order 75 in a month, you can pick goodies or guts. If you order 150 before tax and shipping in the month, you get goodies and guts. So if you have any questions at all in regards to that, just let me know. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for my Teach Me Tuesdays, episode 141, I believe, and that is at 3 o'clock Arizona time, same channel. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today, and I hope you liked the card. All right, bye for now.